In this bit, I want to talk about just my emotional state and how I handled the situation at different parts. So when he first got ill, that was probably like November-ish for me, October-ish. At first I was trying not to let it affect my education too much because I wanted to kind of continue, because in my head, when I did a serious note, I flopped my GCSEs because I didn't take things seriously, and my dad was so disappointed in me. And so when he got ill and I was doing some resits and I was on my new course, I just didn't want to fail my first year, and so I wanted to carry on, and I was quite determined to do it where my attendance and things like that, I took it really seriously. So I delayed telling anyone that there was any problem. Sometimes I just wouldn't turn up and just be saying that I've got a doctor's appointment or that I'm just not feeling well, and I just wouldn't really tell people until it got to a point where it was maybe the start of November-ish, and I was just well, I've just got to tell them now, because it got to the point where I was going in twice a week, and I was supposed to be in 5 days a week. And so I know it doesn't sound that bad because obviously circumstances, but I was just so determined to try and keep some appearance or the facade that nothing was going on and that I was okay. I remember meeting up with my friends. I had 4 best friends at the time, and we went out for Nando's, and I kind of, let them know what was going on, and they were very supportive at the time. And so yeah, it was fine at that point. And then when he started to get worse, and when I remember I went down to one particular appointment with him, and this is when he started to go on morphine and things like that, and he used to have the liquid morphine in a bottle. That was hard. And he was having it every couple of hours, and my dad wasn't one to have medicine. I mean, even paracetamol. My dad wasn't a pharmaceutical drug person. He wasn't like that. So,
and I think also he didn't want to be dependent on it. Morphine, obviously, he didn't want to end up being dependent on it, and it's just the fact that he had to walk around with a bottle of morphine, it just shows the pain that he was in. And it's hard to see the person that you love in that much pain and have to be shotting himself with liquid morphine all the time, because
in his mouth.
Yeah, sorry, in his mouth, just because his chest was just that painful. That was hard. It's hard to watch.
I think one of the hardest bits for me was his breathing. I was shook every time he was breathing. His
it took a lot out of him just to breathe. It was just.
I used to be up at night because at first he was up with us and he was staying at the house with us, but obviously his appointments were down in Northampton and travelling was getting a lot, and there was opinions that were shared that they didn't think it was best for Dad to be around us when he was so ill. So he, instead of asking us, he decided to just kind of stay in Northampton. But for me, I wish he would have asked, because I would have said to stay up here and transfer to Sheffield, but that's another whatever. So I was a little bit upset, and that's why I was so determined to be off when he had appointments and things like that. Back to his breathing. I genuinely didn't think he'd make it through most nights with his breathing.
It's hard to hear.
it wasn't necessarily raspy, it was literally like, so I have asthma, so it's like, what's the word, wheezing, but wheezing didn't even, it doesn't even give it enough
level. It was like,
yeah, it was like
to hear it, like you didn't even want to
was
sleep
like,
just in case. Like, so there was so many nights where we barely slept just in case, because you just wanted to be around just in case. So a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of hard time. It was a hard time.
I remember I used to just watch his chest.
Yeah.
Because he used to get hot a lot, and he used to go through lots of transitions, and his mouth used to itch him and things like that. He used to struggle with eating food that would just react in his mouth. So I went through a period of time of kind of, I mean, I don't really sleep, my sleeping pattern's a bit messed up anyway, so I used to kind of just watch him sleep sometimes. It sounds a bit creepy, but I just had to make sure that his chest was just rising. So that was something that a lot of people just don't really realise and don't really know. The other thing is that when he decided that he was going to go to Honduras, and we all started to kind of spend more time with him, and then slowly the flights were booked, and we was down in Northampton. At this point, I was just so determined in like trying to just spend time with him, but he was just, his emotions was all over the place, and it was just so hard to be around him. And it sounds really weird, but because he was so out of whack with his emotions, and he was just so angry and just so upset, I struggled to even be around him at that point, because it was like he was making me angry, but I was like upset that he was so
upset, because it was more like he was upset.
And so at the time I was just trying to make sure that these guys were eating, and I tried to me and Mum were fighting over dishwashing, and then all of a sudden I started doing the dishwasher. I don't know what happened, but dishwasher was my friend. And then it was decided that I was going to go to Honduras. I didn't really want to go. But I was like, a lot of people were depending on me to be strong and to be the backing that was needed. So I think that's kind of why I went. And also just eventually I got around to wanting to see my dad's body, and so I had to, I don't know how I did it or why I did it, but in my head I convinced myself that I was on a holiday, and it sounds so fucked, but that's how I got through that trip to some extent. Like, I just wanted to try and keep the peace, and if I was gonna, because I have the tendency to lash out sometimes, and so me not lashing out was probably the best thing that could have happened, because I don't think things would have turned out the same.
It's probably good to always switch places on that trip.
Yeah, because it was low-key, it was more expected of you to
be you.
Back. Yeah, to back. No,
we literally
so and the fact that my grieving was all messed up and things like that, I couldn't emotionally get round to fighting with people. I couldn't do it. I'm surprised some people could, but let's not go there. And so I wasn't necessarily handling things the best way that I could, but I'm glad I think I just kept
the way that you did do some stuff.
Yeah, I think I kind of just kept on telling myself to just kind of, just make it true. Just make it true. So I made it through. Got back. Things were interesting. Things happened that shouldn't have happened, but whatever. And so emotionally I was definitely unstable and in a really self-destructive path, I'd say. I was still going to college. I don't know how, but I slowly backed out of going to college just to kind of be around these guys more. And then I started to kind of just creep into my bed room and then into my bed. I just kind of lived in here. That was just kind of my little space that I had. And friends wise, it was coming up to my birthday. A lot of shit was still kind of going down, but kind of finishing in terms of family wise, and I just kind of wanted support for the first, you know, coming up to my first birthday without my dad. And I wanted it to be one that's not necessarily remembered for the bad, but remembered for the good and make it a good experience. And I think that's why Mum threw like a little surprise family gathering. But unfortunately that day I lost a couple of best friends. And also around the memorial as well, we had a memorial that didn't end up being with the whole family, but so it goes. We also lost a couple of family members and friends around then. How I feel about it, disappointed. Then people know who they are. I'm disappointed. I still have my best friend, Alicia, shout out to you. You've been with me, even though I've been in my bed for like the past year and a half. You've been with me, so thank you. And emotionally, therapy's been a bit mad. It took me a while to get round to it, but I'm here. And my life's gonna be better 2018.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
My year, my time.